Imagine humanity in its infancy. For tens of thousands of years, our primary technological achievement was striking two stones together to shape a crude blade. Then, abruptly, incredibly complex, massive monuments appeared across the globe. These early societies were deeply isolated, separated by vast oceans and mountain ranges, with absolutely zero capacity to communicate with one another. They began building mathematical wonders at the exact same time. In the deserts of Peru, the Nazca people etched enormous, mathematically perfect geometric designs into the earth. The patterns are so vast, they only make structural sense when viewed from high in the atmosphere. We have to wonder how Stone Age cultures, entirely cut off from the rest of humanity, independently engineered colossal monuments that seem explicitly designed for an audience in the sky. This bizarre synchronization goes beyond physical architecture. The exact same narrative is written into their earliest mythological texts. Everywhere you look, you find the universal motif of powerful entities descending from the clouds. In ancient Mesopotamia, historical records describe the Anunnaki, beings of immense power said to descend from above to shape human destiny. Across the planet, Mayan legends document celestial deities arriving from the stars. In India, the ancient Vedic texts describe highly complex flying machines, known as Vimanas, navigating the ancient skies. Did wildly divergent cultures independently invent the exact same fictional story by pure statistical chance? Or were our disconnected ancestors trying to document a singular, real-world phenomenon? This global overlap birthed what we now call the ancient astronaut theory, a modern lens attempting to solve an ancient mystery. The core of the theory relies on human psychology and vocabulary. If a highly advanced civilization landed on Earth 5,000 years ago, early humans lacked words like propulsion, extraterrestrial, or spaceship. They had to process incomprehensible machinery by translating it into the mythology of their time. Roaring jet thrusters were recorded as fiery dragons, and advanced technology became the divine weapons of the gods. Ultimately, this hypothesis argues that our oldest religious texts are actually misidentified historical records of extraterrestrial contact. It is a fascinating concept. However, the scientific and archaeological consensus is very clear. There is zero empirical proof that extraterrestrials ever visited this planet. The actual archaeological record looks very different. It is the slow, meticulous work of cataloging thousands of fragments of human pottery and steady progression. The megaliths were carved by massive teams of human laborers utilizing deep knowledge of geometry and friction, leaving behind physical tool marks in the bedrock of quarries. Assuming an alien race built these structures strips our human ancestors of their credit. It drastically underestimates early human ingenuity, brilliant engineering, and sheer grit. But how do we explain the hyper-specific descriptions of divine weapons and flying Vimanas detailed in the Mahabharata and the Ramayana? Historians and scholars read these texts as profound works of symbolic literature. They were never intended to be literal flight logs, but rather spiritual epics exploring cultural values and the overwhelming scale of the divine. To ancient humans, the sky was the ultimate, unreachable frontier. It offered a massive, dark canvas where they could project their wildest imaginations and their desire to connect with something larger than themselves. These epics stand as testaments to the boundless capacity of human imagination, rather than misunderstood records of a sci-fi encounter. Any technology we do not understand inherently feels like magic. Imagine a distant future where human beings finally master interstellar travel. Picture our ships entering the atmosphere of an exoplanet inhabited by a deeply primitive civilization. To them, our descent would look miraculous. Our astronauts would instantly become the sky gods in the mythology of that alien world. Modern science fiction does exactly what our ancestors' mythologies did. We use storytelling to process the beautiful unknown of the vast universe. While we may never find evidence that gods and aliens walked the earth together, the physical legacy our ancestors left behind remains perfectly intact. These monuments prove humanity's eternal drive to look upward. So, what do you think? Are these similarities pure human genius, a mathematical coincidence, or history's greatest untold secret? Let us know down in the comments.